I think one of the biggest things that I've seen over my 40 years in the martial arts, the transitioning of our children not having a voice. And, whenever a parent comes to me and they tell me my child is being bullied or they're so quiet and all this, it 100% of the time has to do with confidence, their core confidence. So our job is to really help them find their authentic voice. I remember one of my students was getting bullied, and this kid was phenomenal. The adults didn't even want to mess with him. I even called him Captain America. Smart kid, super talented. For me to hear that the kid was being bullied, it broke my heart because I could not believe it. I was just dumbfounded. Told the parents, listen, just get him to the dojo. I need to talk to him, because he wouldn't talk to anybody. He shut down. Gets in front of me. He's not telling me. Finally, he breaks down and he tells me. I said, hey man, what's going on? How could you be bullied? And he said, I don't have a choice. I can't do anything. I said, what do you mean you can't do anything? He goes, because if I do, I'm going to be in trouble. From who? The school's going to throw me out of school. My parents are going to be mad. And so all of a sudden, I had this epiphany. I had this aha moment. And from that day, 25 years ago, I vowed to myself that when parents came into the school, that if they weren't on my page, that, listen, we've got good kids. And these schools are teaching our children helplessness. And what do I mean by that? When you have zero tolerance laws or procedures in place in these schools where, the bully does all this stuff to the good child, and they get brought down to the principal's office, and they both get in trouble. Does that make sense to you? So what do you think happens to young children that can't set boundaries physically and verbally? They become teenagers that can't set boundaries. I was on a crusade to tell every school administrator, teacher, parent, we need to be on the same page. You must allow your child. They do have the right and responsibility to choose who gets close to them physically and mentally. And they can set boundaries using their voice, and if they need to, physical. I remember some parents would come in, the dad was like, well, I just told him to punch him in the face. I would look at the dad like, what are you talking about? Your son doesn't even know how to make a fist, let alone punch somebody in the face. So, we got to guide these children, give them the skill set, to build core confidence. Part of the way of building core confidence, I do see confidence built in the dojo. When kids start, authentically learning how to throw, power knees and elbows, and you start there. You don't even have to do anything fancy. You don't have to do a crazy kick. You don't have to do these lightning quick hands, left, right, hook, knee up. No, elbows, knees. And once they start hearing those elbows cracking those mitts, these kids' confidence rise. Give me a bully kid. Give me a kid that won't leave his house. Give me a kid who's in distress. Just give me 15 minutes with that child. And I will change that child's life, because you have to get into their mind, making them trust you enough to help guide them out of the place they're in. And it all starts with, I generally take them on the mat and I try to guide them through finding that voice. And a lot of kids, it's really hard to do. I have a whole program how I teach children how to find their authentic voice. I think it's magic. It's worked wonders for the kids I've worked with over the years. But ironically, it works even better for adults. Because believe it or not, I'm seeing just as many walking wounded adults as I do children. So yeah, zero tolerance, no good. I tell these kids all the time, I told my kids, if it happened to you, you hold your ground. I know you're a good kid, and I know if you had to hold the line and set your boundaries, I trust you enough that you didn't start it. God forbid they started it, but no, I will go to the mattresses for my children, because I believe in my heart they're good kids. Now, are all kids angels? No. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen the goofiest stuff. So, yes. But in the perfect world, all kids are not angels. But these bullies, man, they're conniving. They know when to do, the deeds. They know when, the adults aren't watching. They know how to push those buttons of these good kids. They can torture the hell out of good kids. And our job, again, is to help them find their authentic voice, help them build core confidence. And, hey, listen, I even tell, parents, listen, your kid may not be meant to be in the martial arts for years and years and years. Maybe they're only meant to be here for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Learn these core things. Learn my system of how I help these kids find their authentic voice, build their core confidence, because guess what? A confident child walks different. Predators don't want to go after somebody who's confident and strong. They want to go after the weak. It's just like in the wild. You don't see, an animal who's on the hunt to eat. They're not going after the other strongest animal. They're going after the weak. They're going after the babies, the young, the sick. That's what they're going after. No different from these predators out there today. They don't want somebody strong and confident and use their voice. Do you need just a martial arts program to do that? No. I think that any core sport program where they can learn to, build a functional skill, build their confidence. But I will tell you, a lot of it's going to be dictated on the coach. The coach is going to have, obviously, they can make or break. But I can tell you through my experiences in a martial arts program, the majority of schools, they're good. They want to build core confidence. Now, not to finish my rant here, but you got to be careful of the school. You do not want to put your kid in a program that is building their core confidence, but not building their physical skill set. So God forbid they need to use it. Next thing you know it ain't there. The kids in a point sparring karate program or a no contact program, and they're teaching them all these great self-defense things, but it's not a self-defense program. Or the kid has no idea what contact is, and so the moment he has somebody, engage with contact, and then the kid gets rolled. You have to be a realist about the program they're in. Listen, do you need to put your kid in a program where the martial arts is all about the physical? No way. But you want to build realistic expectations of what they can and cannot do if it does go physical. So that's all I got for you. I mean, I'm just telling you, zero tolerance, no good. I could go on and on and on and talk about this, and maybe I will outline this a little bit better. Maybe I'll give like a little brief video of exactly how I start the process in that 15-minute meeting with a child of building their core confidence. If that's something that you may want to hear or see me do, leave a comment in the bio here, or leave a comment and let me know if you want to hear it or see it, and I'll maybe just do a video and get it out to you guys. Okay, that's all I got. Later.